Hi, welcome to Comics2Movies. We've got our favorite adopted Australian, adopted New
Whoa, hey.
Zealander, you know, Mark with us today. Unfortunately, Sean's a bit crook today, so it's just me. And like I always ask people, please be a bit patient with me, mainly because I'm pressing buttons this time. So if the stream dies halfway, I will be coming back. Just bear with me until it all comes back, because I'm going to hit the wrong button sometime. So, very, very happy to see you here, Mark. How's things?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me. And I almost completely ruined it for everyone and got my timing wrong. And I thought, I made the assumption that my Kickstarter actually finished 1 minute ago. But it doesn't. It finishes 7 hours. So we're just snuck in. And I'm sure everyone's heard, well, most of our viewers have heard me talk before. Hey, Moira, how are you?
Yeah. It's actually a really funny story, because we actually had you booked in for this week, as we all, both me and you, knew. And then you said, oh, I'm going to miss it. I'm going, what do you mean? The campaign's going to end before the show starts. I'm going, oh, it's cool. We can always pull the show because, it's not the end of the world. And it was like, oh, what's happening? And it's actually, for us, we felt bad too, because it's really nice to get you on for that one last chat about it before it ends.
We'll wait for the hate mail. I think I've been taking up a lot of your guys' time. So
thanks, Moira. You're the best. Yeah, absolutely the best. Let's see. We have Chris. Hey, Chris. Shane's here as well. So hey, Shane. I am button pushing, so guys, bear with me. Sassy Gal.
Shane was trying to have me on at 1 a.m. my time, and I basically kept talking for about an hour and a half, and so it wasn't until 2:30 in the morning that I went next door, and the missus threw the pillow at me and said, "Is that it? Are you done?" So yeah, thanks for that opportunity, Shane. Appreciate it.
Sassy Gal, always look great to see you again, and nerds as well. Look, thank you so much for jumping on. Oh look, we've got a lot to get through. We all, like per usual, we'll save your Kickstarter to the second half of the show. But you've brought up one of my, actually, wouldn't say my favorite, but definitely in the top 5 of Marvel movies. And we're going to bring it up. Guardians of the Galaxy.
There it is. Wait.
There it is. See, it worked. And oh wait, hey Sean, get some rest. I know you're not feeling well, so make sure you take some rest.
That's fine. That's fine. I've already seen he's been posting updates for the 13th Labour, which is going great guns. Fantastic work there.
And we'll share the link soon. So Sean, don't worry. And Maura wishes you the best. So does Shane as well. And Lucas, good to see you on. Hey, buddy.
Lucas. But Guardians,
okay, so
I'm amazed you guys haven't Guardians yet. We were talking about what should we have a chat about, and I had a few ideas, and I just went back through the timeline, and Guardians wasn't there. You haven't even done Guardians 2, so it's such a interesting story. How it even came into being. How on earth did it get plucked out pretty much from comics obscurity for these 5 no-names, a team movie about space-faring Marvel characters, all of a sudden got picked for, I think, phase 2 of Kevin Feige's Marvel Universe. And it was... Just want to make sure you guys go to bed, Sean.
Wait, one last hello before I go. Jackie, thank you so much for tuning in as per normal. Always great to see you on, man. You're a good guy. Okay, sorry, back to you.
I was surprised you guys hadn't picked up Guardians as well. But again, we are living in an age that 15, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, you wouldn't have believed the amount of amazing comic book themed content and media that we've been, absolutely blessed with. We start complaining about mediocre movies now that would actually be outstanding movies if they were made in the 90s.
Oh, and TV, and it's like especially with the one thing I do like about television nowadays, not television so much, but like look, and Jackie will probably attest to this. I watch a lot of Asian television shows, and what they always tend to do with those ones is it's a story. So they don't have this long season 1, season 2, and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
It's usually anywhere from 8 episodes, or if you'll watch a lot of Korean dramas, it's up to 16. But it's a complete story.
Yeah.
And
TV as
it's
well.
not.
The original Office, for example, was only 4 or 5 episodes.
Yeah. And you got stuff like Queen's Gambit,
Yes.
amazing shows. You've got what was the last one I watched? Like the ones that came through really recently. The 2 Marvels, WandaVision was wow.
Yeah.
And the thing about WandaVision, going slightly off topic a little bit, it's not you could not make that to movie.
No.
It's not a movie. And the way it played on the other TV tropes as well. I thought that was genius, because there's no way you could have made WandaVision to a movie. The other one.
Segue for you. How WandaVision plays into the TV tropes. Guardians of the Galaxy leans heavily into those classic 80s sci-fi movies, and obviously music and color and costume. It brought a bit of life to the dour and dark sci-fi we've seen over the last 15, 20 years. You know, Star Wars was a splash of color, and everyone else was just trying to do this grim and gritty, miserable, edgy stuff. You know, some of the films are pretty good. You get your Chronicles of Riddick and all that sort of thing. But Guardians is emboldened and infused with neons and bright splashes of colors. And, Thor Ragnarok would never have happened if not for Guardians of the Galaxy. You know?
Definitely.
Yeah.
What do you think of, and this is now moving into, say, story writing tropes, because we're both writers, so it's really interesting. Character pieces, character team drama. So you're looking at every major character in basically as part of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Each got their own backstory. Each got fleshed out. I mean, they did it a lot better than Suicide Squad. Like, Drax never had a flashback. You didn't need him to have a flashback. In fact, if you gave a flashback to when Thanos killed Drax's family or thing, it would have been worse for the movie. And that's where I think Suicide Squad actually really missed the mark by having like the first, I think, half hour or so as flashbacks. I thought that was really bad writing.
The irony here was James Gunn will be doing the next Suicide Squad movie, so it'll be.
But how good does that look? The trailer for that looks amazing.
Here's the keys to the toy chest. Go nuts. And they're basically. Oh, and I heard King Shark is being voiced by Sylvester Stallone. It's ridiculous. It's brilliant.
Look at who voiced Groot. Gosh, they got an A-lister. Voice Groot. He technically is from the.
So I guess technically he's an A-lister.
Basically, he can go into almost any franchise and ask for his millions and millions and millions, and they would give it to him. You know what I mean?
Point out, you've actually got Guardians of the Galaxy 2 image there. Just for any nitpickers out there, because and baby.
Oh, I know. I couldn't find it.
It's a lovely photo.
I do like that image, though. It's a nice image.
But James Gunn was known for his indie movies, Sliver, Super, which was a grounded superhero movie, just a non-powered man in a suit sort of thing, and then Mo and Fahey, they look at people who can. They know they can do the special effects. They know they've got the departments to cover the costuming and all the other aesthetics and bits and pieces like that. So this was probably the first real punt, the real big leap of faith for a director at this point, when with the Guardians coming out and James Gunn. And Gunn was given a script, which he revitalized and worked on. But the first thing he did before he looked at the script and was told about Guardians is he put together and this morning I've been watching the extras, so it's really good to see. he put together a world building document, and he talked about, you know, the Xandarians and all the cultures. So everyone on screen, as you and I know with our world building in our books as well, there's a reason for being, and there's a reason why these things happen. The three, and coming together with for the Nova Corps, they have the three lights on their chest, which in the comic books they do, but he made it representative of the three suns over Xandar. You know, all these little tie-ins, and just tidying everything up, making it not completely out there aliens with antenna, even though there's a talking raccoon and a talking tree. But most of the people in makeup and costume are still very humanoid and look, and not completely too bizarre and out there. So, yeah, there's not too much there that is way out there, except, of course, the Infinity Stone.
Yep. Oh, but that one is probably a editorial a Feige directive that you have to slot.
Leading towards where we needed to go in the overall thing. You know, it's the first time we saw a couple of scenes with Thanos, and it's from the first little tease at the end of the Avengers movie when he turns his head to this is the second time we see him and all his glory. You see in this movie the look of him changes between there and Infinity War.
Yep.
But he wasn't beholden and tied completely to that Thanos plotline.
Yep.
And they made a story of its own. And at the end of the day, it's about a boy lost in the universe and trying to find his way, and ends up with a family, you know. And it's something in between the music, the 80s music and whatnot, and there's so much world building and setting for things that will come in the third Guardians as well, and there's a lot of that in the second, but everything's done with purpose and a great sense of direction. Yeah, and the humor's brilliant, you know.
Oh, look, I 100% agree. Question then for you. Back to, say, this land. This land has a whole host of characters as well. It's technically a team book. You know, you've got to give that. It's technically a team book.
Yeah.
What inspirations do you have with a whole host of characters, you know, and making sure each one shines? And, you know, how does it all fit in? And I by the way, I've talked to you offline about this, about the whole world building aspect. So you've covered two things with Guardians, basically the world building and the teams.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact this land has heaps of world building into it, and basically you have thoughts and nuances and all the rest into it. You want to share? Let's share it with everybody.
Yeah, there's stuff there I'll never explain, and you'll never know why something is done a certain way. But for me, if someone ever questioned me about what's that, I can answer that question.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not saying everyone has to do that, but I think when you develop something, knowing why someone has a gadget or a tool and why it's made a certain way, that leads into the society that this person has grown up into, and why people act and behave certain ways and whatnot. But with this land, it was important that with the characters, and issue 1 is about getting the band together, and issue 2 is basically a team of mercenaries coming together to support our lead Helmer here, helping the god Tane find the demigod Maui and return Helmer's family from capture within a form of glass. So Helmer's struck a deal with Tane. She's put this group of people together, and the way I came about thinking about this group was I wanted the group to be representative of this new world. So there are, when I thought about the creation of this land, and it is about a new New Zealand and a new continent, and I look at the geography and the landscape and how that landscape would affect people's powers and abilities. So people brought up with the coast, some of them had the ability to wield and manipulate sand. Some of them, and there's the aptly named Beach is a guy who's made of sand, and he has sort of a containment suit because every time he fights, he loses a piece of himself. And he has to recover and regain himself. So the question is, it's sort of like, it was really funny because this was written 2 or 3 years ago. The whole vision thing. What is the real vision? Where how many parts are left in him?
Yep.
You know, we talk about Wonder Vision. Sand's a bit like that. You know, how much of him still was the original him, or is he someone completely different?
Yep.
You've got all these characters are not only made up of the areas that they are from, but they're also, a lot of them are representative of people I know. And, you know, people say, write what you know. So New Zealand, I know, yep, but I've ratcheted up about 1,000% into something new and different. Yep. And a lot of the characters, the mercenaries especially, are reflective of people I've known over the last 42 years. Did you know Sean's younger than me? I'm not happy about that. I'm really not. I've got more hair than him, so we'll go with that. So
I don't have your hair video on file really easily, so we'll save that for next week if you like. I'll just play it out of the blue, just for no reason.
Well, it's even longer now, mate. So yeah, I need to do another slow one, whipping it out. Oh, wait, the hair. But it was important to me that all the people in the team, you develop all of that before the world building things. So yeah, actually, Chris, that's a good point. I had a plot written out. It was a loose plot. So the first 2 issues are pretty much exactly the same. 3, 4, 5 are nothing like what was in my original plot. Because given time and given there's a couple of things that happen, you know, just inspiration, watching PR, and you know, you've worked with PR and just leaning into stuff he's really good at. Because at the start, I wasn't that familiar with him. I had an outline for all 5 issues, but we ended up kind of almost doing it Marvel style. So he knew what was going to happen on each page week to week. And at one point, I was taking as much time as possible to think about what was going to happen on that page. So we had a loose plot structure, and then it got tighter and tighter. And then as we were doing weekly pages, so as a page would come in, I would give him the script for the next 2 or 3 pages. So I was giving myself as much time as possible. I was late once or twice, but he's amazing. PR just, you know, he delivers. He's absolutely brilliant. And even now, I can still go back in for not 3, 4, 5. I can go back in and actually change some of the script. You know, some of the language and some of the things that people are talking and communicating about. But I'm 99.9% I won't have to, bar a couple of spelling mistakes. It doesn't matter how many times you check your script. I swear to God, there's always a spelling mistake at the end of it. I don't know how that happens. Like I say, that absolutely bums me up. But
if it helps, I have 2 editors and about 5 different beta readers, and some of them I don't credit because they've actually specifically said, "Look, I don't want my name in the book. You know, I want to be low key," which I totally respect, and I've got no issue with that. I go through basically about 7 people who I trust, and I do it sequentially. So I go 1, 2, and it works its way through. So it gets cleaner and cleaner and cleaner, and then it goes back to my paid editor, the first one, because she's the best one. You know, she's the one who picks up, and she'll still find something. And it's like, how does it happen?
It could be
how?
It could be a slip of a button, or you've saved the updated document and then you put it back in, and then somehow you might have lost that again, and you've used an older one. You shouldn't, but I do it all the time. And I was like, how have I managed to do this? So yeah, apparently it was having its final pass again, and I'm hoping with the letters. So 2's ready to go to print probably Monday. You know, touch wood. It's one of those things. So I definitely, in the case of this land, I didn't know the extent of the world. So I did a lot of world building beforehand and understanding the science, the nature of the place. And that led to more stories and more attributes to the characters, you know. And as I said, yeah, a lot of them resonate. As one of my friends read it out to me in a New Zealand accent. I've never heard it in a New Zealand accent from someone else. I was like, wow, I really leaned into that. It's amazing. And he's like, I know who this is. I was like, oh my God. Yeah. There's some people that's like, it's absolutely dead on. One of my friends who I actually haven't seen face to face or spoken to for about 8 years. But one of my other mates picked it up and was like, is this so-and-so? I was like, yep.
it's really good if when someone can actually read a script and find the voice to that person, and I think it's amazing. But Chris,
everyone does it. You know, it's not cheating if it's you know, it's working smarter and knowing, like you say, knowing a voice, being confident with what that person or that character is saying. It's like, yeah, do that. You know, it's not 100% him, obviously. Certainly not.
Chris, there is one advice I'll give Chris, who's basically asked a question. When I will build, and again, take this whichever way you like. Unfortunately, for a lot for indie creators, we don't sign on for a 6-issue series. We don't sign on for 10 issues or a 26 episode TV series. As much as we would love to be able to say we've signed on for this, we don't usually. What usually sign on is, I will get my first issue out and see how that goes. It tends to be that way. So what I tend to do in the first issue is I tend to drop a lot of plot seeds, a plot, bits of the world. But the focus on issue 1 is always characters and a story. You have to end the story on issue 1, mainly because, you don't know if that's going to be a 2 or 3. That's why in all the stuff I write, I love it when I reach to the 2nd issue, and in, I think, Wordsmith, I reach up to the 3rd issue, because at that point you're going, oh wow, there's enough people who enjoy what I write, I create, all the rest of it. You can start to delve into things that has a bit more payoff. Like, for example, most of my issue 2s end with a cliffhanger, because guess what? You've liked issue 1, which ends. Issue 2, I can cliffhang so that it can then bring on issue 3, which world builds even further down. So, unfortunately for indie creators, I think that's the template for most people nowadays.
Yeah, and you do, right. And you give yourself space to do it. It's not, you use about a 50 page?
Yeah, give or take.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's a perfect, short form graphic novel, to introduce your characters that could potentially become more. I did it the hard way because I'm a complete idiot. So please don't do what I did. Everyone told me to start an anthology, and I kind of did. We did start an anthology, and PR did 5-page short story for that. And I was like, you know what? Bugger it. Let's just keep going. So, but I did wait to launch issue 1 as a Kickstarter till the whole story was completed. So I got the box here. I've got all the ink pages here. Oh, I can't reach it. It's over there. But I think, Chris, you might have seen in some of the other threads and things I've posted, I have all the original art here. It's all scanned and backed up about 10 times over. PR's been just fantastic. And, you're dead right. How most indie creators are moving forward with their stories. So whilst I did a lot of world building, nothing is absolutely concrete, locked in stone. There's lots of flexibility because, as I say, you don't need to know a lot of the things in there. The reader doesn't need to know, but I have that answer should I need to. And I have the ability to change that answer as well, moving forward to create a better story. So at the moment, the structure is as such. Here's the world. Here is what happens when this happens, and this is relative to this. But if I come up with a better idea, you know what? Let's just flip that on its head. So there's certainly potential after the first 5 issues are done for more This Land. I'd really hope that happens, but I think I'll probably leave more This Land for a while and work on something else, because it's something I have been doing this differently. I am trying to do 5 Kickstarters in a year. It'll probably be a year and a half, if I'm being honest. Because one thing I did learn from this is a few people came back to me and go, wait, is this still issue 1? I did it so close to the first Kickstarter, which we had 140% success rate. We fulfilled within 6 weeks. I learned very quickly that it takes 2 weeks per Kickstarter to send you the money, so I can pay the printer, so I can pay for the postage, and so I can pay the other creators for their work for the following issues. So we're going to not pump the brakes, but breathe a bit between issues 2 and 3, because for a lot of people there was an assumption that then we've just backed that. That's the same one as before. And the other thing I did, which this caught you guys out as well, this is a 3-week campaign. So
I was curious about that. And if I can ask the question, standard Kickstarters are 30 days. Some go 29, 28. Some go 31, 32. Again, just depending on how you want to see the start. Why the shorter campaign?
That was because initially, after discovering it took the 2 weeks for the funds to come through and everything like that, and then mail internationally can be anywhere between 5 to 7 weeks. Luckily, the majority of it arrived within 3, except it was some really weird stuff like where East Coast of America took longer than California.
Okay.
So go figure that one out. UK and Europe was really good. I think Australia arrived before New Zealand. And we did have one print that didn't quite... The one thing that I never had completed before I started the campaign, that's still to be sent out to everyone. So in some cases, I've held the package from the first campaign. We're adding that in and adding issue 2 in. In some cases, we'll add that print to the issue 2 that people have ordered. Some cases, we're just going to send it out by ourselves. So I learned a lot from that, and I made sure all the material for issue 2, bar the custom sketches that PR does, I made sure everything is ready to roll and there's no hold-ups. But the 3-week thing initially was so I could keep going to get all 5 out by the end of the year. But it's worth holding off a bit, so there's a bit of separation and distance. Even though if you go to a comic book shop, it's every month, except for some indie comics. But at Kickstarter, people don't actually expect it to go bang, 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 bang. So even though
it's different. I really have to admit, it's slightly different.
Some people love the idea. Some people will just caught on the hop. There's still 5 hours, woo! And we're at 136%, which is actually, I think we're almost the same as the last campaign, which is very rare to have the same amount for an issue.
I've got to show you this because you're talking about PR sketches, and I know yours will be slightly different to mine, but look, it's one of the rewards of my campaigns as well. So I'm going to share 2 images, and I love his stuff. Man, I wish I could keep more of this stuff, to be really fair. But like, for example, this is one of the sketches. I love it.
Yeah.
This is one. Yeah. And there's another one of his sketches. Let me just show you this one. And this, it's original. There's a little bit of a color remark on it. So and there you go.
Yeah, brilliant.
I love it. His work is gorgeous.
So for our campaign, it's a head and torso, maybe an arm, and no mechs, no robots. That's the one thing you said. No robots.
I've had that chat with PR very, very early in the piece. He says no sci-fi. He says if whatever project you want to pass, we'll chat, we'll discuss. If it's sci-fi, I'm out skis. Fair call. You do what you love.
Leaning into his strength, and look, we're both very lucky to be able to work with him. He has certainly over-delivered every time. The way I do my scripts at the start of it, I say, look, I'm very specific about camera angles and shots. If you have a better way, let me know. So some people write loosely and just say, this happens, this happens, this happens. I will say, I'm very visual in how I write and how I pace the book, because you kind of have to be, to a sense, but you cannot hold your artist to ransom. They are the professionals. They have different viewpoints and tools. And every time he's come up with a better idea, I've always gone, of course, absolutely. Yeah, no worries. One or two things I mucked up. I pushed back on one thing and it looks like crap, and that's my fault. He was right. I can't tell you what it is or where it is, but he was like, damn it, I was right. I mucked up.
Move on. Don't hold it. Just suck it up. Move on. And look, I'll be really fair. There are lots of things in terms of my own work, especially some of my old dialogue. You look back and go, oh my God, that's cringe. Did I really write that? I can't read some stuff I used to write because the way I used to think, the way I process dialogue and stuff like that, it's changed so much that
It's those little tricks, like at the end of the bottom of the page, on page, all the odd number pages, you want a page turn. So you want a reason for the people to turn the page.
Yep.
So you don't want to kind of leave it flat. You always want to leave it to, ooh, what happens next? Ooh, what happens next? You know, those little trick, but it's very powerful. So, and it really elevates the book. You know, you need those page turners, and as you say, you need that. If there's definitely is a sequel, you need that last page of, oh, what happens next? So I've kind of mimicked Marvel a little bit. I've always have a double page spread on issues on page 2 and 3. So I have sort of a setup, a bit of context on page 1. This is happening, and then bang, here's the world. Here's something going on. You know, and what's been really great is because of these double page spreads and single splash pages for the last page, usually, actually, every last page is a splash page. Oh my God, what's going to happen next? And every 2 and 3, I always make sure it's a double page spread. And because of that, and because of his crystal clear art, we've been able to do these coloring books, adult coloring books, with high-res images of these spreads and stuff, which have been a great add-on and a teaser, because with issue 1 and 2, the coloring books, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 images from all 5 issues. They're not spoilers either, but they're like, oh, that looks cool. How does that happen? And it gets the brain going. So they've been really fun to put together, and it's a testament to PR's art. One thing we've done is sketch covers as well. So PR has about 15 covers of issue 1. Which don't have Helmer on it. So it's got everything but Helmer. So it's got the iwi motif for the fire tribe in the background.
Yep.
But it's made with a paper that he can go in and sketch on. So there is a reward level for those original art covers of the book. And before every campaign leading up, I'm doing a competition of, you could win one for nothing if you just like and share the campaign coming up. So that's been really good. So, and with some original pages, I give away that before each campaign. So what I recommend, if you haven't got on board yet, get on board now for issue 2 and follow myself on Kickstarter, because then you'll see when the next campaign comes up, and then your opportunity to win more original art, more original sketch covers, and lots of other great things.
That's awesome. I'm going to share 2 comments. The first one's from Sassy Gal. Your coloring book seems to be a big hit. So Sassy Gal loves it, and so does Shane. So, look, we're at about the half-hour mark. So before we share your campaign and we have a good chat about it,
we kind of been doing anyway.
Oh well, of course, that's why we're happy to have a chat with you.
Screen for 1 minute because it's saying low battery. So I think we'll be all right. But
okay. That's why I'm saying we've got a half an hour. So the main thing would be is if you guys don't already know, Comics2Movies is getting the next issue of Terra Olympus out. So I've actually, for people who have no idea what Terra Olympus is, I actually have the volume 1 video. It's only about a minute, so guys, don't stress. It's only about a minute. We're going to get that played up. I'll share the link to Terra Olympus. It's still at the pre-launch, so all you need to do is click on the pre-launch, hit the notify button. But let's share the video for issue 1. It explains everything, basically, what happens. So let's get that. Okay, let's see. And I did it without sound. I probably did it. So I just realized I did it without sound. You see? Let me try that again. We'll go back and remove that. Second time lucky.
But it's a great campaign.
Oh, there you go. Thank you. Let's try
Oh
it.
no.
Let's try it. Yeah, look, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah, no.
One more time.
This is a fantastic book, and worth ever.
So if you don't already.
No, that's your ads, isn't it?
Yeah. Let's close this off. Okay, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Nothing like
Babe,
it. And yeah, I promised you I'd fill it with my bollocks and balderdash. So I do apologize.
this is live. You can tell this is live.
Nothing
Give me a sec.
Oh my
And the worst thing is, I had this all set up. This is the thing that I'm always kicking myself. I said, I don't want this to happen on live, so I'll set this up. I'll get this all
like fully loaded, and it's dying at a rate. It's just 5% now, so I might have to find another plug for it or something. Oh dear. I might have to disappear on you so I don't die. And my phone's
okay.
Right, I'm going to change the power source. This is how organized we are today, folks.
Okay, this time definitely. So let's do this. And still air it. Thank you, YouTube. Okay, so let's. But anyway, look, what I'll do is, because this is not working, we'll try again towards the end. But what I'll do is, your battery running now?
It's got the charge button. It's at 5%. If it goes any lower, I'll let you know.
Okay, so what I'll do is, I will now share the link to Terra Olympus Volume 3. If everybody could just visit the pre-launch, hit the notify, it'd be really much appreciated. I will try my absolute best before the show's over to do it one more run.
What's the elevator pitch for Terra Olympus? 4 hours.
Oh, of course. Earth is a distant memory now. And the rest of humanity now lives aboard the space station Terra Olympus. It follows the life of Mia, who's an engineer on the space station, except that what she thinks is normal isn't quite normal. So we'll leave it at that. And let's talk about your campaign now.
Very quick. What should I say? Oh, it's charging. Brilliant. I went up at the station. Good.
Okay, so it's up. I'll play the video first, and then you tell me how you want me to scroll. I'm going to be your button pusher today. So let's play this first. And is there sound, or did I stuff this one up?
Yeah, no, that sound it was making.
Yes.
Fine.
There you go.
You need to turn it up, I think. It's at full volume. I can just hear it. But anyway, basically.
Wait. Let me do it again. So let me just remove it. At least you know it's live. Okay, let's try it again. It doesn't like it, does it? It doesn't like it today.
Maybe I'll tell you what. You've still got Shane's comment at the bottom there. Do you see that? That's still there as well. So
yeah,
I don't know if that's doing anything to block it or yeah. But if you remove Shane's comment, sorry Shane, he loves his colouring book. But I essentially I can read you the brief rundown of it.
I will pass it to you. Nice and organized there, Charlie. I'm sorry.
Hey, look, it's fine.
So, and Mandeep, thank you for showing up. And like I said, Sean's currently sleeping right now because he's not feeling well. And for whatever reason, he trusts me with keys to the kingdom. So this is his fault.
No, nobody's fault. So
okay,
I've got the script here for the video anyway, but it was basically, and I'll do it in my best, deepest voice. What if you had the powers of a god? What would you do if the gods wanted that power back? This land is a post-apocalyptic reimagining of a land's relationship with its gods and how the future looks to the past to rebuild its present. Kia ora! Hello, I'm Mark Abnett, writer-creator of this land. In February this year, over 220 people joined us from around the world to help launch a Kickstarter special edition of This Land Issue 1. Oof. Oh, it's gonna work now, isn't it? I wouldn't bother the video. I would just scroll up and down there.
Okay, I'm not going to play the video, but it's all you, and you tell me what to do. You tell me what to do.
Issue 1, we saw Helena, a daughter of Axland with a mysterious and complicated past, encounter an aspect of the god Tane, who has imprisoned her family.
I'm going to try this. I think I'm going to have a stab. I think I'm going to have a attempt. I'm going to tempt fate here.
But if you do, go about a minute in, because I've just read the first minute.
And the fates have told me to no. The fates have said no, not today.
Must make a pact with the god Tane in exchange for her family's lives. A deal that could betray her people and bring down the walls of an already fragile society dealing with a new world since man's self-inflicted death of technology. Issue 2, we meet a team of mercenaries handpicked by Helena to help lead Tane and find the demigod Maui. Oh, here's my pacing. To find the demigod Maui, considered to be a myth amongst the people who remain. We discover a world beyond the Bombay Gorge, witness the mercenaries in action, and discover new truths of how this world came to be, and what happened to the people of a neighboring tribe and how they became so different from those around them. Gods and monsters will clash, secret histories will be revealed, and the world of this land will be broken. So there is the cover for Ishland. This Land Issue 2, which is amazing, and that is a tribute from PR for Joe Madureira for his Darklanders, or was it Battle Chasers cover? It might be a Battle Chasers homage, and it is outstanding. And I will be replacing this banner with that.
This one, it looks amazing.
Or some more folk in action and whatnot. So yeah, I'm definitely swapping out this one, and I'm going to get that on here for Thought Bubble, UK's biggest convention in November this year. Should we all be vaccinated and everything goes okay? But it's the UK, so I'm not counting my chickens on that.
When is that scheduled? When does that usually happen?
What's that? Thought Bubble?
Yeah, Thought Bubble.
It used to be September, October, but now it's November, which we're all very hopeful that
it should get back to normal. Again, fingers crossed. The world should get back to semi-normal by then.
Yeah. Your guys' normal is a lot different from everyone else's, I'm afraid. Australia and New Zealand done very well, and the problem is politics aside, there's not a lot of trust in the current governments that are over here haven't, to be honest, been doing a fantastic job of things. And there's a few things over the weekend that might make that worse. But anyway, This Land 2, is basically the final pass of lettering has happened now. It's ready to go to the printers next week.
Yep.
So, with lettering, I do like to leave that to the last minute so we can make those last tweaks and changes. The lettering here in the preview is unfortunately mine, and done very slap hazard. So if you want to scroll up, so that was page 1. It introduced a chap we see. Oh, sorry, down.
Down. Yep.
So that is a chap that we meet briefly with Helena in issue 1, and he found himself locked away in jail in Axland. We scroll up maybe a little bit more. Keep going. Will I like that sound? Yes, you will. Of course you will. Bit more up. Keep going. Scrolling up. Yep. And that's page 2 and 3, which will look different in the book because there's a few more text in there. But that introduces the mercenaries and establishes their powers a bit more. And if you scroll up to the next page, so what I've taken here is I've named and give everyone a brief rundown of their powers. I've taken those captions and put them on page 2 or 3 because it was just a bit too crowded there. And it's better to introduce everyone straight off the bat. So that's the good thing about lettering is you can manipulate a few things and paint really well.
Can I make one suggestion? And I think you're going to do it anyway. Your characters have so much color in them. And I'll scroll up. Just again, you can take this whichever way you will. But you can see each of them are very colorful and they're very distinct. So the one thing, if you're planning to do this already, I'm preaching to the converted. But
No,
when
no.
you describing the characters, if each of these squares, the caption bubbles,
Yeah.
I would put that to be a like this guy is a big green blue. So I would definitely do a gradient from a green, the color gradients, green towards a blue
Yeah, the
for
word balloon.
for,
Yeah.
for that
So
power.
there's a reason why we don't do that, and that's
Yeah.
you in issue 1 as well, because you've read issue 1, haven't you? Of course you have. You won't
Yeah.
remember. So in issue 1, Tane speaks with a language that only Helena can understand, and his word balloon is a certain color. And
Oh no, not the word balloon, not the word
Oh
balloon.
no, the caption.
Just the captions. So,
Yeah,
like for example, because the thing is, if you make all the word balloons different colors, it actually gets very messy to keep track of it. Absolutely not. And you want to keep word balloons as standard as possible, so that it doesn't people don't come in and out of the story. Oh, that
absolutely.
balloon's black. Who's that? Well, but I'm just saying in terms of the captions, the powers, definitely like in especially as a once off, this would be really cool. Like yellow going to brown.
Yeah.
And this one would be very cool. She's a darker color. The black, dark black going to blue. Oh, this one would be perfect. The red going to yellow, the red going to orange. You can just imagine this.
I hear you, and I appreciate your input. And it will look different because those are going to page 2 or 3. So, but you're right. That's a really good idea. And moving forward in the book, there's a few characters that absolutely have their own coloring and lettering for their word balloons, and that makes them stand out. And you realize there's something different going on here. I need to pay attention to this character and whatnot. So yeah, we've definitely. So Hass, our letterer. He's lettered for stuff like lots of image books, lots of stuff for Dynamite. He's done James Bond. He's done. He's currently, basically there's a few guys at the moment. He's done some stuff for Declan Shelby and Time Upon Time, which just came out last Wednesday. He is also an Eisner Award winner for his monthly magazine, Panel by Panel, which is a digital magazine, which is basically comics analysis. He also has a YouTube channel called Strip Panel Naked, where he's got, oh my God, his voice is just so cool. You go to Strip Panel Naked and listen to him talk about, and he dissects scenes and structure, and really, for a writer, it really helps to get into the artist's head and how artists think and how the transfer of energy and the flow from panel to panel. He is absolutely brilliant for that, and there's a reason. So the Eisner, for those who don't know, is basically the Academy Awards for comic books. So yeah, really, really lucky to have him on the team. Lizel Buenaventura, who is our amazing colorist. Oh, and I will say some of the colors I've got there, they look brighter there than they do in the book, because I think I mucked up some RGB CMYK stuff, which is
exactly. Yep.
The print and RGB should be digital. So there's a lot, but the colors are still absolutely amazing in print.
Yep. Keep scrolling, or do you want to keep staying on the creative team, or
what's that?
You want me to stay on the creative team, or you want to keep going down?
You can keep scrolling down.
Oh, yeah.
So the next 4 here, you can stop there. So Verona Pataranui is an old friend from university. She's journalism and public relations degree. She's fluent in Te Reo Maori. One thing we do within the book is we use a lot of Te Reo Maori. So she was really good for sense checking. Trent Brown March at the bottom did the final translation pass to see if I was doing the right thing. Heck did all the tribal designs. Heck did the Kowhaiwhai. Now, Kowhaiwhai is the pattern we see in the title. So you see this land. There's some an engraving design, and Heck did that. And the tribal designs were done by Seb. So
I'm going to pause you for 1 second, just because there is a Kickstarter question. So from Mandy.
Issue 1 is available in the £10 bundle or as an add-on. So if you just want the book, if you want it digitally, there is if you buy the £5 digital option, you can get issues 1 and 2, plus another couple of hundred. And Wordsmith Volume 1, by the way, is in a digital bundle. So there's there's issue 1 and 2, plus Wordsmith, plus behind the scenes director's cut, which has all the script and all the pencils and inks. Plus my other book, Schism, plus a whole lot of other books. So I think there's about 400 or 500 pages of content for £5, which is fantastic. But if you want to buy it, if you want the hard copy, we can send that to you too. There is a £10 cat. If you if you scroll over, if you move the, oh no, no. Oh, no, go up. Keep going up. Keep going. No, so down. Yes, that's one. Do that direction you're doing now. Please keep doing that.
Yep. Tell me when to stop.
Yeah, keep going. Don't worry about the reviews. Reviews have been great. I've been very humbled by all the comments and queries from everyone. That's a bit more about Helena. That's a bit more about Tane. If you want to see this on the Kickstarter page, just type in this land in Kickstarter and you should go straight to it. So that's a digital reward, issue 2. That's it, £3. Next one's just a hard copy and a digital for £5. If you scroll up again, digital bundle, all those books there, there's a big chunk of books there. And the next one is so that's digitally for anyone in the world, no postage. Bang, it'll be there. Probably, I have to wait till Kickstarter fulfills. So 2 weeks after the campaign ends, then it goes out. If you scroll up once more, bit of a prick. Always fun. We've got brand new badges. Our last lot of badges had Araha Comics on the bottom. Now they're just our Araha Comics logo, which is the handprint and the koru in the middle, which are absolutely amazing. I'm so impressed with them. And then previously on is you can get issue 1 and 2 hard copy and digital copies. So that's one way of getting both copies. The other way is you can pick any other level tier you want, and as an add-on, you can add issue 1. So yeah, and if anyone backs it within the next half hour, a physical copy, I have a little thing that I'd like to give away.
Oh, awesome.
I have a signed Black Panther #1 by Brian Stelfreeze. So I've basically been going through my long box, and every time I've been on a show, I've been giving away a nice little collectible. So if anyone orders a physical copy...
Wait, I'll bring you up.
Or if they've...
That's... There you go.
Black Panther 1, signed by Brian Stelfreeze there. Glasgow Comic Con a couple of years ago. So there it is.
And then back to this. Yep. I love these ones, by the way. I love his sketches.
Yeah, they're absolutely amazing. So here's a gambit and a shadow cat there. So that's the sort of thing we're doing. Just sort of a head, slight torso shot. Yep. And that's the best for him for what we've sorted out. The other thing too, you get original art for £120. You get a page of this land. The next one is I actually teach a comics writing and world building course at the Glasgow School of Arts. Good friend of mine, Russell McEwen, runs the intro to comics illustration, and every week he has someone come in and above and beyond the illustration talk about aspects of comic books. And I do all the writer's stuff, so introduce you. So that's 1.5 hours of me on Zoom. But to be honest, the last one I did was about 3 hours long. So you can get as much out of me as you want. You know, I'm not shy about talking. 200 is the double page spread. And if you keep going up one more, then you can get, that is the Goldie, we call that. And that is the original art that we talked about that PR will do on a sketch cover. So that one of a kind, you will have a This Land sketch by PR. Now the next one's super exciting actually, and it seems like a lot, but that art there in black and white, you will own the original art by artist Zach Howard. Now Zach has recently come off Hellboy. He's drawn for Venom. He's done DC. Marvel. He's worked for everyone, and that is just such an incredible print of Helena there. And you will get Zach will send out that to you. I think his manager or his what do they call it, art broker, isn't happy because he's reduced the price to get it out there. So, and that is, I think the sizing's there, isn't it? So
11 by 5. 11 by 5.
Not great on inches off the top of my head, but I know it's bigger than this. It's bigger than the comics page. I know that. I think it's about double the size. So yeah, he's very kindly lent that towards the campaign. Everything that can be added on is there. Old prints, new prints, if you only want certain things. And we've also, it's not written there, but we've also added, if you did want to get a extra page, or if you did want to get a original sketch, but you've already got all the other goodies, there are options for that in the add-on. Well, there you go, Man B. So if you've ordered a hard copy, oh, you did? Well, I guess I'm going to have to put this Black Panther in there for you. So,
bonus.
There we go. I better, Mandy, right, brilliant. I better put a note somewhere. You'll remind me, won't you, Stephen?
No, put it with my one actually, but yeah. Okay, so
that's actually a fun little
yeah.
thing. I've got every time I've spoken online, I said, right, I've got this to give away and whatnot. I should have said it at the start of the show. I do apologize. So
That's okay. So I'm just gonna say, well done, Mandy.
yeah, thank you so much, mate. Yeah, there we go.
I'll keep scrolling down.
But yeah, look, the campaign for the first Kickstarter blew me away. So we raised 3,400 quid. The second one, we are 3,500. Right now, with a few hours to go, we're at 3,425, which is fantastic. One thing, and I think most people understand this doesn't go in our back pocket. This goes to pay for postage, pays for printing, pays for Kickstarter fees, pays for the artists to all be paid for their work. I don't take a cut. You know, that's not what it's about. This is about getting the books out there and getting to the next book and moving forward. So it is important that you back at each campaign. Even though all the art is done, we need to get over the line to get to the next book out there. So even though we're over the line now, every little bit helps to get all those pages and all that additional colors and letters done so we can make the next couple of stretch goals hopefully easier. But yeah, it's gone really well. We're very pleased. We're very thankful for the amount of people who have returned. It's very close to the original number. Currently about 181 from about 118, I think. So that's not too bad. You know, I'll take that. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to everyone who's backed and everyone from around the world. It's just been so much fun, and it's exciting to have something that is sort of a hobby / job, but not really because I'm not getting paid. And I'm still, trust me, I'm still putting some of my money in as well. It doesn't stop, does it, Stephen?
Oh, I'm going to show you this one though. On your things to remember, Sean has, I think, for his campaign, the best things you can remember page. I'll show it to you. I don't know if you've seen it.
No, no.
Yeah, I'll put it up. I'll just show it to you. And because it gets used so often, let me get rid of Mandeep's comment. That's his things to remember page. Number one, it's an AUD, so you know it's cheaper if you're a US backer. Back early, get the gold through. So if you ask Sean nicely, you said change AUD to UK, and you've got a really cool things to remember graphic.
Pounds more expensive than anyone else.
Yeah, like I say, remove the first one. Remove the first.
Screen capture the rest and just pencil over. But yeah, it's every bit helps. It doesn't matter if a campaign's successful or not. It all helps, and waiting is probably to the detriment of everyone, unfortunately. So, but I appreciate some people will wait. But yeah, the more we can keep the ball rolling, the better it is. So yeah, it's been fantastic.
Look, we've got about a minute to go. So if anybody has any last questions to ask Mark while he's still here, I'm sure he'll be happy to answer any of them. Otherwise, look, thank you so much for your time. And look, I know there's only a couple more hours left, so just wish you all the best, because the last couple is the one that tends to go a little bit crazy. And I've shared your link a couple of times. Look, as well as anybody in the chat, both on Facebook or YouTube, please just share the chat, share the link around for the last time. It will definitely help.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Mark, thank you so much for your time. So we're going to end the broadcast soon. And all the best, guys. Oh, wait. Question's up. So I'm going to pop the question. You just snuck in there, Chris?
Not yet. Potentially. So is there a version of Melissa Landers completely in Te Reo Māori, or plans to do a version? What in an ideal world, this land will do a trade next year if things come right, and potentially there's been a lot of interest from New Zealand education people. So there's a lot of possibility for that to happen. It's a matter of finding the publishing and resource from that. It probably wouldn't be able to do it straight off as a Kickstarter. It would probably need some sort of background work done by the education system in New Zealand. So there's been, over the last couple of years, there's been a lot of people who expressed interest. They're not willing to tackle the book as a whole yet till it's complete. So, yeah, it's some very, very good feedback. And basically, I see the project as an evergreen project that could sit on school shelves forever. And that would be my dream, you know.
Fantastic.
Have that book that Kiwi kids or any kid from around the world can grow up and see the language bilingual and learn a bit about a language that a lot of people don't know about. So
that's awesome. That's it for today. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. If you do like this, please share, like, and subscribe. So, click the subscribe button and hit the notification bell.
Don't forget Terra Olympus.
Yep, and check the Terra Olympus pre-launcher. And please do check this land before it vanishes. It vanishes in under 6 hours. So this is your last chance to check it out.
Let's not forget about the 13th flavor.
Oh, and the 30th flavor, which we shared the link as well. So make sure you check them all out. Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you next week, and hopefully Sean's back.
Or you might be stuck
here. Oh, if you want, if Sean's not back, I'll bring you back with me. Okay.